live, guys, gals,
Oh,
and everyone in between. This is clinical research job extravaganza. All right. What does that mean? I don't know. It just sounded good. But honestly, I feel like we're in a tale of two markets. There is, and it's been this way. There's somehow, some way, certain people, no matter the market, will always get a job, and has sometimes nothing to do with experience. And actually, yeah, experience helps, but it's not. I'm talking about these two cohorts of people, and then there's a spectrum of people in between. Where in a bad market, Alexis that we just interviewed that got hired by the site. She's from the CRA Academy. She's doing patient recruitment now at a big site network. By the way, guys and gals, site network. Let me just tell you, my
wow.
my own coordinator, Luis Ruiz, who he's got a bachelor's degree. He wants to be a CRA. I told him, if Yuma Clinical Trials become a site network, we're going to need a CRA at some point. At least somebody almost a CRA, like traveling different sites. QA is very important. Quality assurance, very important. Sites becoming site networks. If you get hired at a site and they evolve into a site network, or they are already a site network, you've got career stability. Hopefully, it's the right culture for you, but if not, you can go to another site network. Like, site networks are now in this market almost what the
The
CROs
biggest thing.
were.
Yeah. hmm I
And
have been,
yeah,
now that you mentioned that, I have been checking out the site networks, and
yeah, you
it is
texted this morning.
mind blowing, like, because the majority of them have now become international. So it's not just a network in United States, but
Yeah,
international. And there are out there much more site networks than I ever thought about it.
yeah. And
And
things are
and
getting somewhat serious with YCT, with human clinical trial, maybe
yeah,
becoming, not joining, becoming a site network. But we won't announce anything until it's official. But
yeah.
that's the new trend
Mhm.
for everybody to
And
pay
then
attention.
if you check the services, what they offer, what they do, and all of that is very similar to
Yeah,
a CRO. It's just that they have the sites belongs to them, and the whole service is there. It's very interesting market. Actually, it's just mind blowing, like I was saying, because a lot of these have sites in many different countries. So, I mean, it even makes it more interesting, because that means that the same processes that are done in United States are taking overseas with these other organizations, right? So,
yeah.
very interesting business
I mean,
scheme.
it's
Yeah.
something even Chris Auber can get excited about. I think. Will your next article be about site networks in the voice of Baby Bowser, perhaps?
I absolutely love the new one in the voice of Yoda.
Oh, you read that, did you?
What's your feedback?
Yeah,
Well, actually, Chris doesn't know how to check. Let me check really
I
quick.
love those articles.
Hold on.
It's like fresh air, because it's completely different than everything out there.
Yeah, when the
Completely
market
different.
I
takes
do agree.
let's find that one. But yeah, site networks are definitely the thing. So that, if you want to know where to look for a job, don't just do what we say. Look at what others have done this year. You don't need to look back historically because the market's different this year. History rhymes, right? We've been through ups and downs. Right now, it's a low hiring trend, but there is pockets of activity in certain places and it's at certain organizations.
So,
It
so let
tends to be the site networks now.
so let's address something you said, Dan.
Yeah.
What is it about the individual that gets hired
Mm,
in a downtime?
don't get me started, man.
Well, that's the purpose of the question,
We
to get you
live
started.
Yes.
So is it personality? Is it just the
It's personality.
proactiveness? But wait, but it could be a bad personality or a good personality. But if you're proactive, can that override it?
No, bad personality not getting hired in this market.
Okay, what if you're not proactive, but you have a good personality? Like you're not
No, has
putting
nothing to
yourself
do.
out there.
No, you need to put yourself out there. Good
and
personality
yeah,
not
and
gonna
not
do
just
anything.
that, but also show results, because even if you have great personality and you're not very proactive, like for example, let's say that you apply for a job and then they call you and your approach is more like careless. I don't think they would be
No,
is
this is the problem with. I didn't know we are gonna go this route, but listen, the problem with our society today is people are the tides are turned. Nothing is in the favor of the individual. Everything's institutionalized, including sites. Like sites are becoming large institutions now.
Mhm.
Like even if they're small, they're becoming large ones. The individuals, they associate, it's very easy, let's put it this way, and it's very celebrated in our culture to celebrate of like a victim mentality. And I think you need to strive for being great and being different. And I think that when you get easily defeated, you have a lot of people like supporting you, but it's like fake platitudes. Like they're not actually doing anything. They're just like, oh, we understand it's tough right now for you to get. No, you need to go out there. Someone needs to kick you in the ass and say, look, what you're doing is wrong. You need to go. And I hope to be this person. At least I could scale it as much as I can, but there's nothing wrong with striving to be as strong as you can. And like strength has become basically frowned upon. And it's almost better to be weak these days. And I think that translates into like these cohorts. Like there's some people that figure out a way. I don't think personality has anything to do with it. In this particular instance, now you got to have a good personality to get. Obviously, you need a good one. You have better chances if you are a pleasant person than an asshole, if that's what you're asking. But I think it
Damn,
starts
there it
higher
goes
than
for
that.
me.
No, you're not an asshole. It
Oh,
starts higher than that, though. That's outward. That's your outward projection. It starts inward. Like, do you see yourself as a victim or do you see yourself as somebody who's gonna get stronger? That's it. That's not anything to do with your
Yeah,
personality.
I totally agree. People likes to get everything just handed and without making any effort, and then blame others for what they didn't do. So, I mean, the market is more competitive than ever before. Therefore, you need to be more aggressive when it comes to applying for jobs, when it comes to preparing yourself, especially if you're paying for a class, you want to take the class seriously, right? You're paying out of your pocket. It's not just getting the certification and that's it, because the certification only get you to certain point, and the same with the experience, it takes you to
Yeah,
certain point.
yeah,
But you have to make more efforts, and you also have to um, be more proactive, because even if you get hired in a very amazing organization with all the perks that you can think of, if you don't show results, that's it,
yeah,
right?
my word of advice would be just assume, doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, assume the world's against you when you for a job interview. Assume it's very unlikely you're going to get the job. That will calm your nerves.
mm,
You'll be less concerned, and just be yourself, right? Hopefully you're a pleasant person. If you're not, then don't be yourself and try and think of what a pleasant person would say.
well, if you're not, try to become a pleasant person and work on that.
Yeah. But
But then it's also important to get prepared, because you don't want to get there just
uh,
unprepared and just careless, right?
Right, right.
how many students have we spoke to, Dan, that have said, I the world's against me. I put 4 applications out.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't been
our
hired.
students,
I've tried 4 times,
I
and
think
I
our
haven't been
students,
hired.
I think our students are a little better than that by the time they're done with us. This was
But we've
the
heard
one
this.
that
But
visited.
we have heard this.
Yeah, like the one that just visited us, Sonia from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
She came out to Yuma. I took her to lunch. She told me what she wants. I pulled out my phone. I said, "Okay, San Jose. Let me look at San Jose, California research clinics." Boom. What before the waiter took our order? Serious.
Mhm.
Before the waiter took our order, I messaged 2 sites on LinkedIn on behalf of her. They didn't know me. I said, "This person just finished my academy. She lives in your area. Guess who got a job by the second site that I emailed on the
Seriously?
spot?" Yes.
Wow. Very nice.
Not now. It was 3 months later, but she had an interview.
Sure.
They called her in. She sent the resume. She's now working there at San Jose Clinical Trials.
So that's exactly what you need to do. You
Yeah, but
need
she
to
didn't do it.
apply.
She didn't
Yeah.
do it, and that was my proof. This is what you got to do. I didn't expect one of those to pan out. I expected her to do that 30 times, 100 times until one does. But it turned out I only did 2,
And that's
and
it.
one of them worked.
So that's exactly what I always that what we always say. That is you're gonna I'm 100% sure, not 99%, 99, 100% sure. If you have your CV and you even go to the sites, knock the door and leave your CV, you're gonna have a job in no time.
And you're not a unqualified person. You're a site owner. There's 3 site owners telling you this. Now, it doesn't mean you just drop off your resume, you're going to get hired. You have to still know your stuff, like Umar says, okay? Key element is knowledge, thirst for learning, and passion for the industry. So it's not enough to just go, you can't just send a robot there and send your resume. That's the first step. The first step's getting in the door. The first step is the site I messaged on behalf of this lady didn't have anything advertised. Nothing. Nor did
Yeah.
I care.
Mhm.
Nor did I care if they did. It
Because
was
the majority of sites don't advertise,
no,
even if they
no.
need people.
Me
I mean,
right now,
chances are
I'm not
exactly.
hiring. We don't have any post. Why? Because that you have to manage it. You have to spend money. So we only put it when we're very desperate. But every time in between, like right now, I'm not hiring. But if the right person came, I would make a spot for them. I even told one of the
Exactly.
MAs that the other day.
I agree with you. So if somebody comes with the right attitude, with the CV and all of that, if I see that they are truly interested, that they are truly committed, there is always something that you can make them do. I mean, at the clinic, something that they can start working on and earn some kind of experience. Not just I mean, going on living the CV, right? Because if you go with the right attitude, I can almost guarantee you that you can get an interview right then.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And we're not even site networks. Like we're small sites. If we become a site network, it's even more. Like there's more opportunities. When a small site joins forces or becomes a site network, let's say they get funding, so there's a financing event, they now have more jobs all of a sudden open up because money is not worth anything unless it's moving, unless it's growing. Right now, if you just get financing, you get $50 million of financing. Sounds like a lot, but you're actually losing that money if you don't do something with it. And what you have to do with it, involves people. A lot of it is people, much more than systems and technologies. It's human beings. Helen Russo says that absolutely is the way to go for sites. That's how I got my first job in research. I know. Been to several sites within my area, but never heard any feedback. Still pushing. That's right. Keep pushing. LinkedIn user, where are you located? I'll do this live for you right now, and you'll be the next example. Let's go. Put
Yeah,
your
I will go again. I will go again and say hi and say hello to everybody. Because yeah, I mean, and even going and reaching out via LinkedIn like Dan did. to the same sites that you apply in person. So that way they see your interest, they see that you are really interested, that you really committed to that job opportunity.
Put where you are located, LinkedIn user, identify yourself. Pennsylvania. Okay. Whereabouts? Whereabouts? Daniel says, when do you guys know when it's time to expand? Well, that's a good question for you guys. Why don't you guys take this one?
When you start having the growing pain, I think that's when you know that you have to expand, because you're gonna start needing more coordinators, because you're gonna start needing more space, because the stuff that you have is not enough to keep getting more studies. That's what I think. When you start feeling the growing pain, I think that's the time when you start expanding. And obviously, it's always a risk, right? It's a business, but that's how I see it. That's when you start. That's when you start getting notice that you need to move and expand. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Chris?
Well, I would certainly agree. Once there's more work than current staff can handle, you need more staff. The problem is, well, it depends on the owner. Is it easy for you to fire someone? If so, then that you just hire accordingly, and you let them go as soon as things slow down. A lot of people don't like to do that, though, and I probably would be included in that list slightly. I would rather, I don't know. It's tough to say. What do you think, Dan? What are you doing with your employees?
Making sure they're the right people there, doing one-on-one meetings every time I can, which is like multiple times a week.
Better
Really
to have
finding out.
too little or too much staff? Is it better to have too little or
Too
too much?
Too much, by far. If you're especially if
Yeah.
you're in the right place, too much by far.
Because what you can do also is hire per project. Explain that person that if the project continues or if there is something else coming, they will be assigned to that. So everybody will have more clarity on where they are standing, right? But then is well, in the market, in the current market, it's much easier to find more studies than it is to find more stuff that is that can cover all the work that involves having a study.
So when is it time to expand? When the employees are complaining or prior to then?
No, prior.
I think
You
prior, yeah.
Yeah, you first of all, you need more infrastructure than employees. You need like the PIs. If
Sure.
the PIs, if you have more PIs, then and you can actually have more studies for them, then you need more staff. I'm at the point where actually I there's one PI we didn't never got a study for, and he's still waiting. He's a cardiologist. So if anybody has a cardio study, let me know. I'm working on a couple, but I know with him and then with one more study for any of my other guys, because they're all guys right now, I would need someone else. So I would already hire someone else because I'm pretty confident that day is coming soon. And even if not, I can have them do other things on our existing studies. So you have to have like a floor. There's like a floor to where you don't want to spend more than this much per month with your current level of activity. But if you can get to this level of activity, you should hire, you can prepare to hire someone, but it takes usually 3 months to get them uh, to get like an ROI on that staff. So you want to hire them before you actually need them. So it's a lot of art actually in doing this. And then if you join a site network, you're going to start growing like crazy because almost overnight you're going to get access to a new pipeline of studies. And so what do you do then? I mean, you're going to wish you had way more staff. And what do you
Exactly.
do when staff leave? As good as you try to be with your
Yeah.
staff, competition's fierce. Like a university might offer them double, and not everyone will take it, but some will. And then what do you do? You know. So yeah, sites are always hiring, even if they don't advertise it.
And there are some areas that have more draw of employees or potential people to work with? Oh, wow, that's a great question because can you do you get more studies and then coordinators or vice versa? That's a tough question, Daniel, because sometimes if you can get a study that you were not expecting, and then looking for a coordinator can take you longer. Um, while having a coordinator that maybe you can start putting them to do patient recruitment, which the ROI will be quicker, while you work on getting more studies and then transfer this
Admin,
person to that. Yeah.
admin, admin
Uh-huh.
stuff. And then if the business owner or the site owner has side gigs going on, like you have CRC Academy, which is our next question and answer, or me with guru stuff and Chris and I with DSCS, we'll have we will have our staff do other work if we need to. We haven't had that
Yeah.
happen yet. In the past we have. You're gonna have work, and it just depends on the site owner. Caitlin says, what have you found as the best onboarding training approach for research staff? This is a easy. I've never pitched a softer pitch to Monica in her entire life, and she'll hit a grand
Yeah.
slam on this
Yeah,
one.
well, Caitlin, we have a program that
Grand
we
salami.
created and has absolutely everything included. We make the CRCs generalist, so that includes everything from the moment you apply for a study until the end of the study. All in between, we teach it in the class. So it has all of that, and not just that we teach that, but that's also, let's say, for example, if the CRC starts working and they have questions, they can always reach out to ask those questions or to get some clarifications. Plus, the program has also
There
like
we go.
classes. Yeah.
Underneath the video, you can see www.thecrcacademy.com and go there, and that's where we train our staff. And Monica trains her staff, and many other sites train their staff. And we also have a CRA Academy, which it's the same concept, guys. Like, ultimately, you'll be a CRA, and the site is really the best place to get started. But CRC Academy is great because it's perfect for MAs, which are medical assistants, phlebotomists, international medical graduates. People who are like naturally already good hires for a site. They just need an extra level of training, just one more layer, one leveling up. And but very good question, Caitlin. And then it's honestly, it's not enough. I still have to do one-on-one with all my staff. Like, you're never hands off as the site director or the owner, whomever's in charge of managing your site. My job has gone less doing the studies. I don't even know the details now, to just dealing with issues with my staff. Like, why are you making this mistake over and over? How do we fix this? Okay, you need help here. Okay, let's do it. And I just do that stuff most of the days now. I don't even really know too much about many of our studies. We have Katie, who's the QA and the lead CRC, and then primary coordinators. But you still need to be. You can't be completely hands off. How do you know? Unless you have multiple touch points, you don't know if your staff's really overwhelmed or if they're just not clear on something. Um, my CRC 1 year, today still had questions. How do I fill out this continuing review report? And they send me screenshots and I tell them what to put, and now he knows. So it's ongoing, ongoing. Chris, any thoughts? And we got a testimonial.
So it really goes back to a previous.
Oh, sorry.
We know Evelyn. What's up, Evelyn? Big ups
Yeah.
to Evelyn. She's been on the podcast many a times.
She was a CRC Academy
Yep.
student.
Come on back. Happy to have you back on. We did podcast with her every week until she got hired at one point. I remember doing this
Very nice.
during COVID. Yeah.
Well, I do remember that vaguely. Yeah.
You see, Chris, you know people. You just don't think you know.
Well, I didn't remember her name, but I do remember what you described. So,
Chris, sorry to interrupt. What were you saying?
it wasn't important. But
Chris, everything you say is important. This is your safe space.
thank you, Dan. Do I get no ridicule here?
No.
I'm safe to cry here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was really more to do with the previous question in terms of when to hire, which we're kind of addressing here as well. I think one, if you're not going to be at site like Dan is, you have to have a lead, somebody you can trust, so they can kind of fill you in on what's going on. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck or glued to the situation, right, Monica?
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, training somebody or training, you mean about the training?
No.
Or,
I mean more as an owner, you need to be aware of what's going on at the site. If you're not going to be there, you
oh,
need to have
yeah.
somebody you can rely on to report to you, right? And I don't think you have that right now, somebody that can report to you, right? So you're more stuck being at the site.
Exactly.
Yep.
And even at the beginning, when you're training somebody, you still have to, I mean, even if they have completed a program, you still have to take a look. I mean, it's like Dan was saying, it's almost like a never-ending kind of work, because once they become experts, then they move somewhere else usually, right? So
Well, that's an entirely other problem, right? How to keep your employees happy
You got to
and
keep them. And this is
but
why they keep you on your toes. Because, all right, how big do I want to grow this? Okay, that means I have to have options for my staff, or else they'll leave when they outgrow our potential. And this is when sites start thinking, okay, how do I expand? Maybe I can, this is how growth happens. This is like what it's
mhm,
supposed to be in America, right? This is like the old fashioned, like, work hard, grow. Your employees will grow with you. Maybe one day they'll graduate and do the same thing and pay it forward with someone else. I mean, this is how it's supposed to be.
yep,
Hola,
absolutely.
Cassandra. How's it
Yeah, I was
going?
gonna say hi,
Cassandra, we
Cassandra.
miss you. We
Cass,
miss you,
wait a
girl.
minute. Hold on. Hello, stranger. Where have you been? What's going on? Wow. And how has it been so long?
Oh, gosh.
I feel like it's 2020. Where you been
Yeah,
at? It's 2024.
yep.
She only pops up every election year.
No, Cass has done a lot of work.
I'm just saying I haven't seen her in a while. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
We gotta do a podcast again.
Yes, we have to bring her back on everything.
So you see how your staff, you need your staff to grow, but they
But you
also
need
need
to
you
grow
to
for
grow.
your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
or else you just have a lifestyle business, which is fine. But then
Hmm.
there's risks of a lifestyle business too. Like, your employees are not slaves. It's cool to like fund your lifestyle, but at some point they have ambitions too. So if they're done maximizing what they can accomplish with you, they're going to go somewhere. They should go somewhere else. This is how the economy works. This is how production happens. This is how GDP gets created, not just in our industry but every industry. So
Yeah.
this spurs some to grow, some to join site networks, some to grow
Hmm.
themselves, some to become a CRO, and some not to, and that's okay.
And some push you to grow so they can continue with you. So,
Yeah,
mhm.
it's cool, guys. This is the world is your oyster, everyone.
Ah, very nice.
Job seekers
Very
too.
cliche, but very nice.
Very job seekers too. Listen, you got to make sure. Obviously, when you're first starting out, you take any job you can get, but after a while, you start becoming in demand, right? And
Yeah, and yeah, and obviously experience is important. I mean, the education is important, but it's also experience. Experience is also important. And like we were mentioning before, that we are in a market that is very competitive right now. Um, so having both the education and the experience is something that you want to have in your CV, just to push or to give you that extra touch in your
and just
CV.
so
Not and also obviously, like Dan was saying, and Chris, the your soft skills and your personality is also important, because I mean, if somebody with experience and education comes with a great personality, it will be much faster in, I mean, opportunities to get jobs than somebody that is grumpy. Like the other day, we received a phone call of someone looking for a job, and when we asked for some questions, this person got kind of grumpy and hang up. So
Wow,
good luck.
really? Just hung up,
Good
huh?
luck.
Well,
Yeah,
some
good luck
people
with
filter
them.
themselves out. User,
Exactly.
I didn't forget about Harrisburg. I found 2 sites for you to contact, but this is why now that I'm older, all right, I'm in my 40s, things like company culture matter
Are you over the
because
hill?
hell no.
Okay.
Hell no, man. This is why company culture matters. Let's say you're on employee number 4 at your site and everything's good, they're all really good, but then the 5th one comes in and they're okay. You hired them because you needed them, and then you were kind of not managing them properly. This is like my biggest fear. It hasn't happened at YCT, not under my watch. I don't think it will, but it happens everywhere all the time. This 5th person comes in after they're there for a year. They lower the bar for everyone. So before this person came, everybody was doing, let's say 5 visits a day or 3 visits a day for themselves. This person comes in and effectively proved that nothing happens if they only do 1 visit a day. So then everyone else looks at them and says, well, why the fuck are we doing 3 visits a day? They get away with it. So they're going to do 2. And then after a while, they start doing 1. And then this person you just let in ruined your culture without even realizing it. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, how are we not growing? Well, it's because that person you let in that you didn't stay on top of. And it's very easy to let that happen if you're not watching it. For all you absentee site owners, this happens a lot.
And
A lot.
I don't always agree with Dan, but this he's 110% correct, and that's true in every industry.
You got to stay on it. And then if you're going to be absentee, you better put someone in charge who understands this and doesn't tolerate this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's why for me the 3 first months are so important. Also taking a look the commitment, because there are some people that initially gets with all the initiatives and passion, and then all of a sudden you see a change, and then the commitment is just completely gone.
Yeah.
So that commitment for me is one of the most important things.
And then you got to fire fast. You got to fire fast in those cases. You have to give that person time to change and or get out, you know? And people tend to change after they've been at a company for a while. They think they can get more comfortable. Okay. They're always pushing. What can I do? How does this affect what the management does? Let me try this. Okay, they didn't do anything. Let me try it more. All right. Okay, I can't do that because he got pissed. Like they're always trying. You guys can't be asleep out there, man. Wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out. Look, Harrisburg. I didn't forget, man. Look, listen. I'm gonna share my screen.
You too. I have to go, but it was
Chris
it
Auber.
was fun and pleasant.
It was very pleasant, Chris. Listen, capital area research.
Good luck, Harrisburg.
Harrisburg. You need to go here. This is the person, Jackie. No, this is not her. Okay, click on this. Then you click on people, and then you message. Look, here's a coordinator. Here's director of. I don't know who this is. Yeah, here's the heart. Here's the cardio department. Look at all these staff at this place. All right, you need to message all these dudes and gals. There's another company in your area called Skylight Health. So just really quick, let me look up Skylight Health. You like Carol G, Monica?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Skylight Health Research. Here we go. Look at you know what? I actually know this I met her at ACRP. I interviewed her for 20 minutes on my pod. Reach out to this one. She's the CEO, Harrisburg user, LinkedIn user, and tell her I watched your interview with Dan. I really want to. I'm passionate. Give her the spiel, man. And then if she doesn't, go try with these other people, and then
Yeah,
just keep
but
doing this.
before you reach out to her, make sure you watch the video.
Oh yeah, watch the video. Listen, she probably even has it here because it was around May. So if you want to be a stalker, just go to here. Look, I'm telling you guys, it's right here. I'm not bullshitting. All right, it's right here, and the full interview's right here. You just click this link. I mean, I don't know what else to say, Monica. It's right there. People, people need to wake up. That's it. I don't know. I don't know. I shouldn't get mad about this.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the opportunities are there. We just have to find it. But the opportunities for sure are not gonna go and knock the door.
Go get it. And I spent 5 minutes
Well, you
searching
might.
while Chris was talking, LinkedIn user.
Yeah.
So if you
I
spend
mean,
50
mhm,
minutes, you should find more than those two. But those two seem decent.
yeah,
And check the
exactly.
crcacademy.com. Not so shameless plug. What
Reach
are
out to me.
reach out to Monica. She's right. By the way, Monica's LinkedIn is underneath this video and in the show notes. Last question? Last one? Do you want to do one more? Or?
Yeah, yeah. What are the challenges facing the industry as regards recruitment? Wow,
Ooh.
that's the most
PatientAce.com.
challenging part. Yeah. Patient Ace is my favorite, and I'm not kidding. It's my favorite. That's basically my favorite out of all that I have used, and the most effective one.
But if you're working at a site and they tell you, hey, you got to start recruiting, like you need to have a plan. You need to know your community. You need to map out the area. You need to figure out places like food banks, churches, community events, local, whatever local stuff they have. Smaller towns are better. Like here in Yuma, they have in the fall and winter, which is about to be now, jazz festivals every Thursday night at the mall, at the outdoor mall. So you go there, we set up a booth, people come. Actually, a lot of people sign up. Just little things like that.
The
What do you
community
do?
engagement is the community engagement is probably one of the most important, most effective ways to reach their community and also earn their trust. And in addition to that, obviously you want to study your target market for that specific study, and then maybe go to them. Like for example, if you're doing a study for Alzheimer's, you want to check it out which organizations around you serves you for this purpose. Like for example, let's say senior centers that you want to go and do presentations about clinical trials. But like Dan was saying, continuously doing the community engagement is important, because if you go only when you need patients, people are gonna find out that you just only do it when you want patients, right? The community always wants things back too, because they are providing, I mean, a lot for the clinic. So it is important to do um, community engagement and create a very comprehensive or very strong community engagement plan. So that way you're reaching out to the community and let them know you're existent, and earn that trust.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they need to know who you are, that's your first hurdle. The second hurdle is, what is research? Like, why do I want to do that? It sounds like a guinea pig. And you just need to dispel these myths. And I always start with the worst. The worst is you're going to get placebo, and your condition's going to not get better, right? And then they understand, okay, that's the worst, but you can withdraw anytime and you can go back on your previous meds. You're not committed to, like, this is not a contract. You're not signing a contract. It's an informed consent.
Exactly. Hmm.
And then you work your way up to the benefits. Like Evelyn was taught very well. Matter of fact, she was taught by Monica directly, but then she also went in the community, I believe in Orlando area, and
Yes.
executed on these ideas and produced results for, I think, more than one company. So ask Evelyn. Go find her on Facebook and ask Evelyn. Go, Monica.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, it's nice to see you. I saw two people from the past that I haven't seen in a while, even if it's
Yeah.
virtually. Evelyn and Cassandra. So it was nice to see you ladies. And then the new
Yes.
faces too. Harrisburg, there's more, okay? I did connect with most of those people, but never got a feedback, but I will get back to them again. Especially, like, watch that video with that CEO and tell her three things you liked about it. And because she lives in Canada, she doesn't live. If you watch the video, you'll know she lives in Canada and manages her sites remotely. How? Because she uses Viva amongst many tools.
Okay, I
So
have
she
a
come in
question.
with that.
I have a question for this LinkedIn user.
LinkedIn
Have you
user.
been have you been there in person? Like, have you gone there and introduced yourself and maybe find out the HR department? Because if it, I mean, remember that if you do a strategy and it doesn't work, you have to move to a different strategy. If it's because if it's not showing you results, you need to do something different to get different results. So if you reach out to them via email or via LinkedIn and it didn't work, I will go there and introduce myself with my CV and then maybe ask for HR department.
Exactly right. And learn details about the site. That lady uses Viva for all her sites. I don't know what they use for eSource, but I remember interviewing her at ACRP, and Viva was a huge part of what they do. And it wouldn't hurt for you to learn a little bit about Viva Site Vault. I think you can go to the website, play around with it for free. I mean, there's always more you can do. If it doesn't work for
Exactly.
them, so what? You learn more things for the next people. Anything else, Monica? The crcacademy.com, the crcacademy.com. We have another one, PharmD/RPH. Where to get into clinical research as a PharmD pharmacist. These are the tough ones because you gals and guys, you typically want a higher pay and you may not always get it right away. That's what makes it tough. You, unlike
Yeah.
most people, can go to like academic medical center and probably apply as to be a clinical pharmacist or a clinical research pharmacist, but it's a low growth role that private industry grow faster. Bottom line.
Yeah, it's just that it takes you some sacrifice at the beginning, like studying in a site, for example, as a coordinator. And then from there, you will learn the whole process and then you will actually create your own path in which direction you want to go, because that's the beauty of studying in a site, that you can that you can see from there all the potential paths that you can take, and having that experience is like golden nugget.
It is harder for pharmacists. Like, generally, the more degrees you have, the harder it's going to be, but there are more roles you can have as well. So, like, you might want to start maybe if you're having a hard time and you want to do something a little bit different, be a psychometric rater at a psychiatric trial, a study.
I was gonna say I have two pharma Ds on my stuff. Both of them are pharma Ds. Actually, one of them both of them are raters, but then one of them, besides being rater, is also regulatory specialist for us. So that's how she started. With both of them have been with us like for a year and a half. So, and both are pharmacies. Yeah.
There you go. Like, I think that's a little bit different, the advice that you'll get at most places, and I think that's the way to go. So, yeah, I think that's it, Monica. I think we did a good job. I think even we helped a few people out here, and CRC Academy is enrolling right now. So go to the website or reach out to Monica directly underneath this video or in the show notes if you're listening. She's a very nice person, and she'll be very pleased to hear from you. So reach out and go check out the website for more info. And thank you very much, Monica.
Thank you, Dan.
Bye, bye, bye. The